Kevin Knox showed us what he can be in that first half, that's for sure. He was confident, the Knicks found him, and he just kept making shots. And
making them from different areas and including different ways. We've seen this many times where he just leads the break. And how about the assist? A beautiful pass for Cantor for the finish. But Swin, you know what you were saying about him being active? Perhaps a lot of what happened to him in the second half was the Knicks defense wasn't creating turnovers and pushing the basketball. Gets him into a rhythm where now on offense, he can step out for three. Look at how he attacks.
And keep in mind, too, whenever you get hot, defenses are going to adjust. So they put a little bit more pressure on you. They're paying you more attention. And that's when the screens to get him open becomes so important. But the first half, he was phenomenal on both ends, I thought, of the floor. He got a couple of steals, but at the same time, he was finishing like that at the rim, Allen.
Yeah, I think it's finishing. It's getting out on the break, running. The activity that was going on with him was allowing him to get into rhythm, but it felt like the ball was finding him more, even in the half-court sets, where in the second half, that wasn't happening.
In the second half, you and I talked, it looked like he was aiming his shots.
Yeah, especially when you have a lot of times. That's the one thing that I thought he actually got over. Early on in the season, I saw that from him where he would catch it, and then he would just, it seemed like he was aiming his shot. And then he started getting a rhythm and was just a really catch and shoot. But when you don't make a few, you want that next one to go in. And the younger players tend to try to aim more instead of just shooting in rhythm. But he puts up volume shots, so he'll get more comfortable with it. But it looked like you said down the stretch, Al, he was just aiming a little bit too much.
9-point lead at halftime, but it felt like a precarious lead, didn't it?
It did, because of the way they had such a 15-point lead. The building was hopping, and the Hawks you thought would go away, and they didn't.
Okay. Let's take you through to the fourth quarter. It's 6:12 to go. This is out of a timeout, and the Knicks had a 1-point lead.
And I mean, I was shocked by that right there. Just because you have to understand. Not only that, too, but you have to understand what is happening in the game. Coaches prepare you in timeouts to come out and execute.
Yeah, and that before there's Moutier misses that alley-oop. They were down 5 at that point. Trae with that floater, that kind of puts the game away. Moutier knocks that down. Right here, the Knicks are down by 3. Got to get a stop, right? And Trae Young just goes right to the basket for an N1. And that sort of was the dagger, but for sure, him getting that offensive rebound with 17 seconds left was the one that iced this game.
Trae Young, very interesting player. One moment you're saying, it's too small. He can't shoot. Next minute, you look at the stat sheet, 15 points, 10 assists, and that's the 10th time this season he's gotten 10 assists. Oh, and a few rebounds to boot.
And you know what else? This is a guy that came into the league known as a shooter from the college game, right, Swin?
Yeah,
somebody
that a lot on the college scene.
Has the range. He likes to point to the court when he shoots from deep. He did not take a three-pointer in this game.
And that's the thing that amazes you, is that you would think that him having 15 points, that some of those came off of threes, but he was in attack mode. In attack mode at the rim against it didn't matter if it was a big or if it was a guard. He was putting his head down and making you have to draw the foul. And here you see the N1 against Tim. That was a big play in that moment.
Huge. And you know what? Play to the scouting report. And the scouting report is the Knicks are not very good on-ball defenders, that you can get dribble penetration against them. They're not good in pick and roll. So instead of settling for those threes and settling for jumpers, he shoots 25% from 3. He attacked, and it worked.